for those of you that are just joining us, you can start off by laying on your back. Start off with the knees bent to allow that triangular bone at the base of your spine, the sacrum, to settle. And then if it's comfortable to extend the heels away from the crown of the head, you can do that. If that causes any discomfort in your lower back, take your feet as wide as the hips and let the knees fall inward as you relax. So the low back is supported and the legs can relax. Bring your awareness to your breath. And take a moment to check in with the quality of the breath before we really get moving. Notice if the chest feels tight or open, if the breath is short or long, if the inhales or the exhales bear more weight. And we'll take a moment to intentionally deepen our breath, bringing the awareness to the diaphragm, that muscle right below the ribs that facilitates the breath. As you inhale deeply, feel it expand downward. And as you exhale completely, feel it soften back and spread wide. The next inhale takes the awareness past the diaphragm, all the way down into the bottoms of the feet and the tips of the toes. And as you exhale completely, sink into the support of the ground beneath you. Allow yourself to be held. Have a few more deep, long breaths just like that. Breathing your awareness back down into the body. And as you exhale, connecting with that universal blueprint, the stacking of the bones and joints in the back body plane. Remembering this sensation as we are looking for it in all of the shapes and poses today. And then we'll do a quick scan through the physical body from the bottoms of the feet and the tips of the toes. With an inhale, draw the awareness up through the legs, into the pelvis, the hips, the low back. Notice any areas of tension, soreness, general discomfort, and use the breath to go there. Inhale, gently open and expand those areas. Exhale and allow tension to leave the body with the breath. The next inhale pulls your awareness up the torso, into the shoulders, the neck, and the face. Once again, just noticing where in the upper body you're holding tension today. And using the breath to bring the awareness there. As you inhale deeply, create space. Invite fresh blood and oxygen to flow through those areas. As you exhale completely, continue the conversation of consciously asking the body to soften, release, and let go. Lastly, check in with the mind. Notice where the thoughts are at. Observe the speed at which they move through you. Take a big step back from identifying as the thoughts. And with curiosity, witness them passing through the mind like clouds through the sky. Without getting attached or carried away, without judging yourself for what you're thinking about, but beginning to notice the habits and patterns in the way the mind turns, in the way that you speak to yourself. And then bring the awareness back and and anchor it on the breath. Have a few more of those deep, long breaths, filling the abdomen all the way down into the bottoms of the feet and the tips of the toes. And as you exhale, softening, spreading wide across the floor. This class is a part of an alignment series that started at my house a few weeks ago. So the focus of the class today is on the action, energy, and alignment at the core, the site of the third chakra, where the will and the ego reside. So we're going to do some core work laying on the floor to get started. And it's like so dark in my house, and I tried to fix the lighting, but you're going to have to use your listening skills. So we're going to interlace the hands behind our heads and extend the heels up towards the ceiling. Extending up through the heels and then the balls of the feet, and pressing the thigh bones away from the crown of the head to lengthen the lower back and create and emphasize that curve in the lower back. We're finding a balance between this action of the thigh bones creating the curve in the lower back and drawing the abdomen into the spine to engage the core. You can lift your gaze towards your abdomen, and with an exhale, slowly lower the right leg towards the floor, pressing through both heels and pressing both thigh bones away from you as you work. Inhale, bring that leg back up to center. Exhale, slowly lowering the left leg towards the floor, pressing both thigh bones away, pressing out through both heels, and inhale it back up to center. You're going to do 4 more times like that on your own, pressing the thigh bones away from you, cinching the low ribs and the hip bones towards each other. In the yoga tradition, the whole front body is considered the individual body or the ego body. The back body is considered the universal body or the soul body. So this action at the abdomen, drawing it in and up towards the spine, is an action of reining the ego in to work for the higher self, to work for the collective well-being of all. Once you've done 5 times on each side, you can draw the knees into the chest and take a moment to rock gently from side to side, massage the low back. Ooh, I know how to brighten my house next time. Okay. And then with the knees drawn into the chest, spread the arms wide. So the first action at the core is always that drawing in and up, which is going to bring the knees closer to the chest. And then we can add other things like a twist. So with an exhale, you're going to take the knees up and over towards the right elbow, not letting them come to the floor, hovering, turning the abdomen back from the right to the left to keep that left shoulder grounded, and inhale back up to center. Exhale, take the knees up and over to the left elbow. Lifting the left leg to support the right. Turning the abdomen back to the right to ground the right shoulder. Inhale back to center. On your own, 2 more times. Moving slowly. Feeling the body work. Lifting the knees that last inch to really actually touch your elbow. And feeling how that's where like all the juice from the pose lies. If you have pain in your lower back when you are doing this, you can just back off it a little bit, right? Work to the edge of your discomfort, building strength to support whatever the misalignment or injury may be there. If you have low back pain, these exercises are great exercises to incorporate into your daily practice. And they will strengthen and support the back. Whenever I like start skipping them because they suck, my back pain comes back and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'm gonna do it again. Once you've done 5 times to each side, you can again draw the knees into the chest, rock gently from side to side, massage your low back. We're gonna do one more thing, stretching the legs, laying on our backs. So you're gonna take the left heel up towards the ceiling, and right heel up towards the ceiling, left leg grounded on the floor, extending out away from the crown of the head. You can interlace your hands behind your thigh here, or if you have a strap or a belt or a dog leash or something, you could place it around the upper arch, lower ball of that right foot. You're also welcome to take 2 peace fingers around the right big toe. Either way, press out through both heels. Press the whole midline of the left leg towards the floor and press the right thigh bone away from the crown of the head, lengthening the pelvis, the tailbone, the lower back on that right side body. And then draw the leg more actively towards yourself. Have a few more deep, long breaths. Breathing into the places that feel tight and sore and stuck. And as you exhale completely, seeing where you can soften, release, let go. Good. Maybe you'll see me better without my mat. And then we're gonna release the left arm out to the left side. And we're gonna use the right arm to support the right leg as we take the right leg out to the right side. Continuing to press through both heels and the balls of both feet. Keeping those left toes flexed and active, pointing up the whole midline of the left leg, pressing firmly down towards the floor as the right thigh bone continues to root away from the crown of the head. So there's no crunching in the lower back on the right side as we work. And then as you extend through the right heel, soften the abdomen back and turn it back to the left, just like we just did, creating as much balance and evenness in the grounding of the back body plane as you can. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. Breathing into those places that feel tight and sore and stuck. And as you exhale completely, finding a little bit more softening. With an inhale, bring that right leg back up to center. And then we're going to exhale and take the right leg gently across to the left side body. Pressing through both heels and the balls of both feet. Keep that left leg firmly grounding down, toes flexed and active, pointing up. And rooting that outer right hip down towards the left heel as you turn the abdomen back into the right. Have 3 more deep, long breaths here. And then you can bring your leg back to center. Lower the leg to the mat. Shimmy out the hips a little bit. Observe the different sensations and the different sides of your body in this moment. And then moving to create that balance, lift the left leg up. Maybe you want to interlace your hands behind the thigh. Maybe you have a strap or a belt or something to place around the upper arch and the lower ball of the foot. Maybe you take yogi toe lock with the peace fingers around the big toe. Wherever you're working, press out through both heels. Root both thigh bones down. Right thigh bone firmly towards the floor. Left thigh bone presses away from the crown of the head, lengthening the lower back evenly on both sides. Maintain that as you draw the leg more actively towards yourself. Breathing into those places that feel tight and sore and stuck. As you exhale completely, see where you can soften, release, and let go. And then releasing that right arm out to the right side. You can support the left leg with the left hand and arm as you open it out to the left side. Keep pressing through the heels and the balls of the feet. Keep rooting both thigh bones down in their respective directions, lengthening both sides of the lower back evenly, and finding that same action in the abdomen as you press out through the left heel. Pull the abdomen back towards the spine and turn the lower abdomen to the right. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. I get through those. And then inhale your leg up to center. Press through both heels and the balls of both feet. Gently take that left leg across to the right side body. Keeping the left leg grounded firmly. No, right leg grounded firmly. Right toes flexed and active, pointing up. Outer right hip roots down. Left hip, I'm getting all confused. To create that balance and evenness in the pelvis, draw your abdomen back and turn it back to the left. 3 more deep, long breaths. And inhale to center. Lower your leg to the mat. Shimmy out the hips a little bit. I'm gonna open my blinds so I can let some light in and y'all can see me. Maybe that will help, maybe not, maybe it's blinding. Okay. Either way, maybe you can roll to the right side and press down to lift up. Come to a comfortable seated position. Keep your eyes closed for just another moment. Return your awareness to your breath. Build your connection with the shape from the ground up. It might feel good to inner rotate the thigh bones and move the flesh of the buttocks out. Feel that you are pressing through both sits bones to lift and lengthen through the crown of the head and the tips of the ears from the base of the spine. Roll the shoulders together down and into the back body. And cinch the low ribs and the hip bones towards each other gently to engage the core to support you. Good. So, focusing on this action of reining in the ego, to work for the collective well-being. We are at a crucial moment for this in our collective spaces, the staying home, so that even if you are fine and healthy, you can flatten the curve of this virus. So someday we can all like get together and practice yoga in person again, right? The element of the third chakra is fire. And we're also entering Aries season, which is my sign, and it's another fire element. And so we use fire in our practice and in our lives in a few different ways. But we have so much time and space right now to really be present with the habits and patterns that are and are not serving us. So taking stock and inventory in your life about what you are willing and able and ready to release and let go of. Collectively, we are being asked to rein in our habits and patterns of consuming, of polluting, so that we can be in right relationship and balance with the other beings, animals, and the earth as a whole. We're also tomorrow going to experience a new moon in Aries. So Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, that fire to initiate new ideas and new projects. And the new moon is a great time to set new intentions that will be carried and grow as the moon begins to move towards full. So having all of this time, we get to reflect on not just what we're willing to let go of, but what our visions for the future are. I really, really, really hope that it doesn't just turn into like business as usual once this is over, but that we take the time to see the effects that our break is having on the earth, how it's already begun to heal, and how we can work to move in alignment with that. With an inhale, you can reach your arms up and overhead. And exhale through the mouth with sound. Release. We'll do that one more time, clearing the body out energetically. Inhale deeply. And exhale completely. And then we will inhale to prepare for the sound of Om 3 times together. So as always, just pausing to feel the vibrations resonating through the body, noticing where the sound gets stuck, where the body constricts, gathering this information about where our energy is getting stuck and blocked, so we can send the sound, the breath there. Use the practice to clear those places out and begin to allow the energy to move through us optimally. We'll take a moment to connect more deeply to our breath, and we'll cultivate Ujjayi breath. So it's inhaling and exhaling through the nose while tightening up the back of the throat like you're fogging up a mirror. So this breath work generates a heat in the body, which is another one of the tools that we use in this practice to purify and clear out. It also generates a sound like waves crashing on the shore that can act as a focal point to steady the mind as we witness what arises, abides, and dissolves, right? Because ultimately it's all impermanent. You can just inhale deeply through the nose, lift and lengthen through the crown. Exhale completely through the nose, soften the shoulders together and down. Continue at your own pace, tightening up through the back of the throat, making sure the breath becomes gently audible, like waves crashing on the shore. Feeling how when we breathe in and out through the nose, in general, it slows the breath down. Tightening up through the back of the throat slows the breath down even more, generating that heat in the body that we can direct into the places that are tight and sore and stuck, so that we can begin to clear ourselves out, becoming more present, more creative and spontaneous as we work towards caring for each other and creating a more sustainable future together. You can continue with this breath work throughout the whole practice. When you are ready with an inhale, open the eyes. We're gonna cross the right shin in front of the left shin and close to the knees if you haven't already done that. Allow the heaviness of the top shin to break up some of that hardness in the bottom calf. And interlace the hands and bring them palms facing up onto the top of the head. Draw the elbows and the armpits back and down. And with an inhale, stretch up through the palms. Drop the chin to the chest and use that as leverage to draw the abdomen in and up as we reach through the palms to stretch the muscles between the ribs. Keep all of that work and effort. And as you inhale, lift your gaze all the way up. Pull the pinky fingers and the thumbs down towards your face. And feel the shoulders soften down away from the ears. Neutralize the head and gaze, being aware of not just arching the back and popping the ribs out. As you lift through the palms to stretch the spine. Inhale, drawing the energy in and up from the floor to the core to the crown. And as you exhale, finding that softening down of the pinkies and the thumbs, the shoulders, the skin, the hips. With your next exhale, release the hands and twist to the right. Grounding the right fingertips behind you, press the left hand and the right knee together. From the base of the spine, both sits bones grounding evenly. Inhale, lift through the crown of the head and the tips of the ears. And as you exhale, deepen your twist, pressing out through the hands to get the leverage to roll the shoulders together down and into the back body. Feel what you're doing in the neck and have one more big, long breath. Return to center. Switch out the crossing of the legs and switch out the interlacing of the fingers. So whatever feels normal, put the other pinky under. Bring the hands back onto the top of the head. Draw the armpits and the elbows back and down. And with an inhale, stretch through the palms to stretch the intercostal muscles between the ribs. Gaze down and cinch the low ribs and the hip bones towards each other. And keep lifting through the palms to stretch the spine. Maintain all of that effort, especially the low ribs sucking down and back as you inhale and lift your gaze up. Pull the pinky fingers and the thumbs down towards your face. Feel the shoulders soften away from the ears. Neutralize the head and gaze for 3 more breaths. As you inhale, everything hugs in and up to the midline of the body. As you exhale, you're keeping all of that lift and then finding the softness Fingers, skin, shoulders, hips settling towards the floor. One more big inhale. And exhale, twist to the left. Grounding the left fingertips behind you. Right hand and left knee press into each other, activating the foundation of the pose. Both sits bones ground evenly. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the crown of the head and the tips of the ears. And as you exhale, completely roll the shoulders together down and into the back body. Notice the tendencies in the neck, especially if it drops down towards the back shoulder, and return your body to center. One more big breath. Pressing out through the hands to hug the shoulders into the spine. Exhale, release. And come onto your hands and knees. Spread the fingers wide. Round the knees under the hips. Keep the low abdomen gently drawn back. Even as you inhale, arch the back gaze up, lift the tailbone. Exhale, press down and curl the spine to the ceiling. Continue at your own pace. Sync the motions of the body with the breath. Allow the breath to deepen the motions of the body. Allow that synchronicity to bring you fully and completely into the present moment, the place from which we can take action, and then move in any way that feels good to you within the confines of the shapes. Allowing the mind to connect and receive the wisdom of the body. Remembering really now more than ever to listen to your body as you're practicing and to make the adjustments that create more space and freedom. Since there's not a teacher present, it is all on you to keep your body safe and receive the guidance. Good. When you are ready, you can tuck your toes, lift your hips high, and press back to downward facing dog. So you're making that V shape with your body. Make sure the hands and feet are grounded evenly. Outer edge of the feet parallel with outer edge of the mat. If the hips are tight and the low back is rounding, take a slight bend in your knees. And from the back of the knees, everybody inhale and lift the hips high. Exhale, press the thigh bones up and back to where the wall meets the ceiling. Allow your head to hang heavy for 3 more deep, long breaths. Each inhale, drawing in and up, the abdomen lifts, the hips lift. Each exhale, shining, extending out through the 4 corners of the hands, the feet, the crown of the head. With an inhale, flow forward into plank pose and pause here. Always an option to lower your knees while you work the alignment in plank. But there is a lift from the underside of the pose. The abdomen lifts towards the spine, cinching the low ribs and the hip bones towards each other. And the back of the ribs lift to meet the shoulder blades so they can roll down the back. The neck extends long. Have one more big inhale. And exhale, lower the knees, the chest, and the chin to the floor. Press the tops of the feet down. And inhale, lift the heart. Roll the shoulders back. Everything on the ground pressing firmly down as it is your foundation to lift the heart and crown. Even here, the tailbone is rooting towards the heels and the lower abdomen is drawing towards the spine. Notice if you're crunching into that one place in your neck, and maybe drop your chin down a little bit. Have one more breath. And exhale, press back, seat to heels. Coming into child's pose. Feel free to sway the hips from side to side if that feels good to you. Good. Allowing the energy of the hips to settle towards the heels so that you can get the leverage to inhale and walk the fingertips forward. Breathe, lengthen space into each vertebrae in the spine. And as you exhale completely, soften more deeply into the stretch. Have one more big breath. And then with an inhale, again, rise, hands and knees. Exhale, pause here. And with an inhale, lift the right leg straight behind you. Toes flexed and active, pointing down. The hips in alignment with each other. Next inhale, lift the left arm up. As you exhale, stretch, creating one long line of energy through the body. Each inhale, the abdomen lifts towards the spine. Each exhale, we stretch the body long. Next inhale, elbow and knee to the nose. Exhale, extend out. Inhale, curl into the center. Exhale, stretch the back body long. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Release. With your next inhale, lift your left leg straight behind you. Toes flexed and active, pointing down. With an inhale, lift the abdomen towards the spine and lift the right leg high. Exhale, stretch long through the back body plane. Have a few breaths. Each inhale, drawing in and up from the floor to the core, and each exhale, extending out in all directions. Next inhale brings the elbow and the knee and the nose together. Exhale, extend. Inhale, hug in. Exhale, shine out. One more time. And release. Next, inhale, lift the right arm up. Lean into the back body to stack the shoulders and open the heart. With an exhale, tuck that right arm under the left. Scoot the left fingertips out. Gaze up under the left armpit for a twist. Widening the right hip to the right to stabilize the pelvis. Cinch the low ribs and the hip bones together. And then lean into the back body to stack the shoulders and open the heart. 3 more deep, long breaths. Good, inhale back to center. Exhale, pause here. Inhale, lift the left arm up. Press out through the palms to roll the shoulders back. With an exhale, tuck that left arm under the right. Scoot the right fingertips out. Gaze up under your right armpit for a twist. Widen the left hip and inner thigh to the left to stabilize the pelvis. Draw the low abdomen in and up towards the spine, and then lean back to deepen the twist. Have 3 breaths. Whew. Turning the abdomen up and back to the right. Good, inhale back to center. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips high. Press it back, downward facing dog once again. Remembering that if the hips are tight, you can always take a slight bend in the knees. Use that as leverage to everyone. Inhale, lift the hips high. Lift the abdomen towards the spine. Press the thigh bones up and back to where the wall meets the ceiling. To move the hips away from the thigh bones and make space in the abdomen that draws back towards the spine. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. Low ribs lifting up and back to the thigh bones. And then with an inhale, begin to walk the feet forward to meet the hands. Come into a standing forward bend at the front of your mat. Feel free to bend the knees. Let the abdomen come towards the thighs here. Shake it out, yes. And shake it out, no. Grab opposite elbows and sway. Move in any way that feels good to you to release tension from the back, the shoulders, and the neck. Let it drain out through the crown of the head. And then with an inhale, return to center. And exhale, release the arms down. With your next inhale, begin to roll up. The pelvis spins around the femur bones. The vertebrae stack. The shoulders and the head are the last things to rise. Hi, my hair is a disaster. I hope y'all are doing all right. We're gonna take a moment to check in more deeply with our alignment in the standing position. So you want to make sure that you are standing with your feet as wide as your hips, outer edge of the feet parallel with outer edge of the mat. And there's a relationship that we've been returning to between the action of the thigh bones moving back, which creates space in the lower back, and then the rounding down of the tailbone that lets us lift the frontal hip bones. You'll see that. You can really see it in my body. We're sticking the booty out, so the center of the hips come over the knees and ankles, and then keeping the hips back like that. Draw the center of the buttocks into the midline to root the tailbone down and lift the abdomen from the pelvic floor, from the pelvic triangle, in and up. So things get really strong and stable and contained and compact at the core. Hip bones and low ridge cinching towards each other. I've been teaching so much that I can't talk. Okay. And then from that grounding in the lower body, we get that leverage to lift the arms up and overhead. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and exhale, take it up and over to the right side. Continue pressing from the pelvis through the four corners of the feet as you root the tailbone down, lift the abdomen, and stretch both side bodies long. Good. Inhale back to center. Grab the left wrist with the right wrist with the left hand, making sure that the weight hasn't gone into the toes. If it does, take your thigh bones back. Root the tailbone down. Cinch the low ribs and the hip bones together as you go up and over to the left side. Continuing to press through both heels to stretch both side bodies and sides of the neck long. Have one more big breath. And inhale, return to center. Exhale, fold forward over the legs. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen the spine. You can always have your knees bent, but the thigh bones go back and the abdomen lifts. As you exhale, fold more deeply, rooting the tailbone down, but continuing to lift the frontal hip bones away from the thigh bones. Pulsate like that a few times. Inhale, thigh bones back, abdomen lifts. Exhale, root down, abdomen lifts. So just exploring these actions again and again, and seeing what newness you can discover in your body as you work. Inhale, gaze forward, get length. Exhale, step the left leg back. Come into a low lunge on the right side. The front knee is stacked right over the front ankle. And as you inhale, energetically scissor the legs, hug them towards each other. Feel how that might lift you out of the pose a little bit. Bringing the hips to face forward, engaging the inner thigh muscles. You want to keep all of that while at the same time extending out through the back heel and drawing the crown of the head and the heart forward. You're welcome to stay with your hands here. Either way, inhale, lift the abdomen, and maybe you want to stretch the fingertips forward. Have 3 deep, long breaths. The abdomen is almost on the thigh, but then we're drawing it up and back, lifting the back thigh bone, extending through the heel and the crown of the head. With your next exhale, release. Ground the palms. Inhale, step the back foot forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold more deeply into the legs. Inhale, gaze forward, get length. Exhale the right leg back. Low lunge on the left side. Finding that deep bend in the front knee that stacks it over the ankle. And as you inhale, hug the legs towards each other. Engage the inner groin. Lift from the pelvic floor to lift the abdomen. And as you exhale, keeping that containment, press through the heel. Draw the heart and the crown of the head forward. Maybe you want to keep your hands grounded. Maybe you want to lift them. But either way, draw the abdomen towards the spine and stretch the body long. 3 breaths. And with an exhale, release. Inhale, step the back foot forward. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, reach your arms up and overhead, come to stand. Exhale, release the arms down by your sides. Check back in with your foundation. Notice if one foot goes out and one hip goes out. And all the time, even in line at the grocery store, return your body to center as best you can. Outer edge of the feet parallel with outer edge of the mat. Stick that booty out. Root the tailbone down and lift the abdomen in and up. With an inhale, lift the arms up. And this time we're going to twist. So you're going to widen your left inner thigh to the left to stabilize the pelvis, that equal and opposite force as you turn the torso to the right. So the hips stay facing forward. The twist happens at the core. We're lifting through the heart, the fingertips, the crown of the head as we press down through the 4 corners of the feet. Have 1 more breath. And inhale back to center. Making sure the weight hasn't gone into the toes, making our adjustments in the pelvis so that we can fully engage the core. Widen the right inner thigh to the right and turn the torso to the left. Keep pressing from the pelvis through the heels as you lift the abdomen in and up and stretch through the fingertips, the tips of the ears. Have 1 more big breath. And exhale to center. Fold forward over the legs. With your next inhale, gaze forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step the left leg back again. Coming into that lunge on the right side. Inhale and hug the legs towards each other. Lift the abdomen and stretch the back body long. Exhale here, and with your next inhale, keeping that back thigh lifted up and widen to the left. Inhale, lift the right arm up for a twist. Press out through both palms to roll the shoulders together down and into the back body. And have 1 more big breath. Exhale, release. Inhale, step the back foot forward, the other leg. Exhale, fold more deeply. Inhale, gaze forward, get leg. Exhale, step that. Alex, how are you calling me? Let me see that. Okay. Step that right leg back. Coming into that low lunge on the left side. Front knee stacks over the ankle. As you inhale, hug the legs together. Lift the abdomen. As you exhale, lengthen through the back body plane. Keep that right thigh bone lifted and widening to the right to stabilize the pelvis. As you inhale and turn the torso to the left, lifting the left arm up. Press out through the palms to roll both shoulder blades together down and in towards the back body. And have 1 more deep, long breath. With an exhale, release. Inhale, step the back foot forward and lengthen. Exhale, fold more deeply. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, come to stand. Exhale, release the arms down by your sides. Tadasana. The next shape we're going to come into is a chair pose. You can come into chair with your feet together or your feet apart. But when you bend your knees, they have to bend in line with your ankles. No feet out and knees in. It's okay for the knees to go past the ankles in this pose, as long as they're moving in the same line. With an inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, sit back, chair pose. Same actions, booty out to get low, thigh bones back. And then drawing the center of the buttocks into the midline to root the tailbone down and lift the frontal hip bones. Lift through the fingertips and the crown of the head. Exhale, soften the low ribs down and back. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. Finding those balances between all of these opposing actions. What feels sustainable and best and right in your body? With your next inhale, rise. Exhale, release. Good work. Let me check the time. Okay. We're going to take the feet wide on the mat. Outer edge of the feet parallel with the outer edge of the mat. Turn the left foot in slightly and the right foot out all the way. Arms parallel to the earth. That back thigh bone is back in line with the knee and ankle of the back leg as you take a deep bend in the front knee, stacking it right over the front ankle. The back thigh bone inner rotates slightly, and then both thigh bones press back, fully opening the hips in the side body plane. Then we're like inhaling and lifting the frontal hip bone away from the thigh bone, drawing the abdomen back and turning it back to the left. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. Gaze over the front fingertips. And with an inhale, straighten your legs. Lift and spread your toes. See how it lifts the arch of your foot. Stretch them out and ground them down. Keeping the thigh bone back. As you exhale, widening that inner thigh back, cutting the front thigh bone back. Keeping the abdomen drawn back, so we're stretching the side bodies long and coming down into our triangle pose in alignment. You can place your hand on your shin, your ankle, or the floor behind your leg. Check back in. That back thigh bone has to be back. The front thigh bone cutting back towards the back thigh bone, buttock hugging into the midline of the body to stack the hips. Abdomen draws back and turns back to the left. Press out through the palms to stack the shoulders and roll them back. 3 breaths. Bring that left hand to the left hip. Hop the back foot in. Scoot your fingertips out in front of you. Stay grounded through the left big toe mound as you inhale and rise into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Press out through both heels. Press that standing thigh bone back. The lifted thigh bone presses up and back. The hip, the knee, and the ankle of the back leg are in one horizontal plane. Draw the abdomen back and turn it back up to the left. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. And with an exhale, bend the knee. Land with that foot behind you. Rise up. Straighten the leg. Turn the outer edge of both feet parallel with the outer edge of the mat. Turn the right foot in slightly and the left foot out all the way. Back thigh bone back so the hip is in line with the knee and ankle. Take a deep bend in your front knee, right over the front ankle. There's that slight inner rotation of the back thigh that grounds the femur into the hip socket, and then both thigh bones press back, hips open, tailbone settles between them so that we can lift the pelvic triangle, the frontal hip bones, the pelvic floor, and turn the abdomen back to the right. Gaze over the front fingertips, 3 more breaths. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Lift and spread the toes, engage the arch, and keep the engagement as you lower the toes to the mat. With an exhale, widening the back thigh back, cutting the front thigh bone back, front buttock into the midline of the body, abdomen back as you stretch the side, body is long, 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 and come down into your triangle pose, supporting yourself on the leg or the floor in any way that feels best, and then checking back in with the body from the ground up, pressing the front thigh bone back and hugging that butt cheek into the midline of the body will create space in the lower back on that left side. Inhale and lengthen the spine, draw the abdomen back and turn it back to the right. Press out through the palms to roll the shoulders back. 3 breaths. And then bringing the right hand to the right hip, hop the back foot in slightly. Scoot the left fingertips out in front of you. So when you rise, the side body is long. Keep the big toe mound grounded and press out through both heels as you stack the hips and open the shoulders. Standing thigh bone back. Hip, knee, and ankle of lifted leg in the same horizontal plane. Don't let that leg drift off behind you. Draw your abdomen back and turn it back to the right. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. And with an exhale, bend the knee. Rise back through warrior 2. Straighten the leg. Turn the feet to face forward. Step or jump the feet together. Good work. We will finish up standing poses with a balancing pose, and then we will wind down. So shifting your weight onto your right foot, lift and spread your toes, stretch them out, ground them down. Inhale, lift the left knee, and interlace the hands behind the left thigh. Notice how your hips immediately want to go forward, and take that standing thigh bone back. Press the lifted leg down into the hands to lengthen both sides of the pelvis, and then extend the heel forward. Lift the abdomen, the heart, and the crown. Maybe you want to stay here. Maybe you want to play with folding into that straight front leg. Wherever you're working, 3 more deep, long breaths. Don't look at me because I'm falling over. Oh God, this is bad. And then with an inhale, rise. And exhale, release. Shake it out. Take a deep breath, inhale, reach up. And exhale through the mouth with sound. Let go. So balancing poses are a time where we really hear our internal dialogue. Just remembering that it doesn't actually matter and it's all for fun and for practice. Shift the weight onto your left foot. Spread the toes wide and ground them down. Inhale, lift the right knee. Interlace the hands behind the thigh. Standing thigh bone back. Lifted thigh bone pressing into the hands. Extend the heel forward. And inhale, lift the abdomen, the heart, and the crown. Maybe you want to stay here. Maybe you want to fold forward into the standing leg. 3 breaths. The lifted leg. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, release it down. Shake it out a little bit. And inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward over the legs. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, ground the palms, step back. Come to down dog or child's pose, your choice. But either way, check back in with the quality of the breath, the tension in the body, the speed of the thoughts through the mind, and then anchor the awareness back on the breath. With an inhale, rise. Come to seated. Ground the fingertips behind you. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, lift the shins parallel to the earth. Maybe you want to stay here. Maybe you want to lift the hands. Maybe straighten the legs. But keeping the chest broad, 5 breaths. And with an exhale, bring the soles of the feet together. Ground the fingertips by the hips and scoop in any amount. Press down through the sits bones to lift and lengthen through the crown. And if your pelvis is tilted back like this, you're gonna have to find a pillow, a blanket, something to sit up on, because you can't forward fold from here. We have to get our pelvis into a neutral position by working on lifting from the base of the spine. And so you might want to just stay here and practice lifting up. If you feel like your pelvis is perpendicular to the floor and you can hinge at the hips and exhale, fold forward, do that. Still drawing the low abdomen up and back, lifting the frontal hip bones away from the thigh bones. Go inward for 5 more deep, long breaths. And then with an inhale, rise. Take the legs wide. Ground the fingertips by the hips once again. Press the thigh bones firmly down. Extend through the heels. Lift the abdomen and turn to the right. Folding over that straight right leg. Maybe you can reach the right big toe with the left hand. Maybe you're not there yet and it's fine. But keeping that outer left hip grounded, lifting the frontal hip bone and turning and then folding. Have 3 more deep bone breaths. And inhale, rise. Lift and lengthen through the spine. Keep the toes flexed and active, pointing straight up. Let that right thigh bone be really heavy, outer right hip grounding down as you twist and stretch towards the left foot with the right hand. Really keeping grounded through the thigh bone, keeping the frontal hip bones lifted away from the thigh bones as you turn. 3 more deep, long breaths. And inhale, rise. Press down through the sits bones, lift the frontal hip bones, and walk the fingertips forward. So the toes stay pointing straight up as you fold more deeply. Have 5 deep, long breaths here. And with an inhale, rise. Exhale, bring the legs together. Bend the knees and ground the feet. Reach forward. Draw the abdomen towards the spine as you slowly roll back, vertebrae by vertebrae. Coming down to Shavasana, final relaxation. Feel free to take any final poses your body may be suggesting they would like. Maybe there's a gentle twist, plow pose, or happy baby. But when you do reach Shavasana, allow the feet to be as wide as the hips and fall out. Palms rest facing up at like a 30-degree angle from the body. Return your awareness to your breath. Allow it to be so deep and so long that you touch down into the bottoms of the feet and the tips of the toes. And as you exhale completely, any residual tension, anxiety, criticalness leaves the body with the breath through the fingertips. So through this practice of yoga, we generate that heat to clear the body out. We let go of fear, judgment, expectation, projection. We come fully into the present moment with gratitude for where we are, open and ready to creatively respond to whatever is required of us. take this moment to savor any quiet, peace, or calm that has come into the body or mind through the practice today. And then begin to intentionally deepen the inhales. The aspect of the breath that enlivens and invigorates. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Gently sway the head. With an inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Give yourself a big stretch from fingertips to tippy toes. Exhale here. Inhale, draw the knees into the chest. And exhale, roll onto the right side body. Pausing, moving slowly as you gather your bearings. When you are ready, press down with the palms to lift up. Return to a comfortable seated position. Keep your eyes closed for just another moment. Return your awareness to your breath. Notice the quality of the breath after the practice. Notice where in your body you're still holding tension and where some things may have shifted. Observe the speed of the thoughts through the mind in this moment. And then anchor the awareness back on the breath. We will seal our collective efforts with a single Om, allowing the pelvis to ground you down. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the crown and the tips of the ears. Exhale, soften the shoulders down the back. Lean gently back to stack the vertebrae, aligning this internal antenna within us that connects us to all things. Inhale deeply. Bring the hands to the heart and bow the head in gratitude for the tools of this practice that help us to find balance between the inner and outer realms, between ourselves and others, and to take action, make changes to honor all beings. Thank you all so much for being here. Have a great rest of your night.